Hey everyone, it's Joric. Welcome back. Hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. Today I want to have a discussion, and first I want to ask a question. For those of you that live in Portugal, whether you're locals, immigrants, expats, foreigners, residents, whatever you may refer to yourself as, do you feel like there is more violence and crime going on in Portugal or less violence and crime going on in Portugal? Now, the reason I asked that question, please comment below. Let me know what your feelings are and your thoughts are. There was an article, a couple of newspapers a few weeks ago talking about crime is down in Portugal. So I guess in many major categories, crime, major crimes, as well as other crimes are receding and they're going down. So one would think that that's a good thing. But on the other hand, the same article was saying, but the reporting of crime is up over 100%. And the first thing that goes through my head are a couple of things. Well, maybe it's a slow news day, so they're just trying to report on anything. There is an old adage, if it bleeds, it leads. I think that's been around for several decades, and that's particular of the United States. That certainly is out there. But what I found interesting about this is, as I'm putting up all of these things that talk about more shootings, and I see more articles about shootings, more dismemberments and beheadings going on, just more violence certainly being reported. I don't think anyone could argue that more violence is being reported than at any time. Well, when we moved in 2019 and started researching and looking in 2017, it was rare that you'd see articles about bad things happening in Portugal, crime, violence. Now it's a common day every day. You can pick a newspaper and you can see something. What I find interesting about this is if less crime is happening, how does it benefit to report reporting crime is up 130%. Who benefits from that? Kind of like follow the money. Because, for example, if you're going to, there's a couple of newspapers, I believe they're run by immigrants, the Portugal News and the Portugal Resident. Most of them are the same writers and the same columnists, if you will. They're meant for an English-speaking audience. They're meant specifically for immigrants, expats. Almost all the advertising is done by people that are real estate investors, real estate agents, sellers of immigration, whether it be attorneys, accountants, you name it. Many of the articles being written are advertising pieces on behalf of come buy this property in Porto, or we have these services to provide. So what I don't understand in those cases, and often there's much more crime being reported in those newspapers. Why? If there's less crime going on nationally, why report that there's so much more crime going on if indeed there's less crime going on? That's what I don't get. Because the advertisers don't want more crime. They want more people. They want more immigrants. They want more, I'm sure they want less delays at immigration as well, so that more people move in and more people buy property and more people blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't benefit them to have crime reported all the time, every day. And then the Portuguese newspapers that are more for, I'll say, Portugal citizens, there are more crimes being reported there too. And again, the idea of crime is less, but the reporting of crime is exponentially more. Doesn't seem to jive with me. And I'd like to get your theories and thoughts on it. Because it just doesn't make sense to me that in a country that is generally safe, was crime vastly underreported. Now it's reported more. If that was the case, crime statistics would be going up. But something just doesn't make sense. And I go back to a video I made recently about, can you trust the numbers, the information that you're getting? How much crime goes underreported or unreported completely? But I just don't understand who necessarily benefits from reporting more crime, because all of those people that want you to move to Portugal and are trying to get your real estate business, getting you to buy a property, rent a property, use them for immigration services or to get your NIF in your bank account, etc. Tour companies that want you there, not just on a short-term basis, but maybe on a long-term. Restaurants, you name it. None of those people benefit by, hey, there's more gun violence going on in this particular area of town, or hey, there's a beheading a block away. Come visit our restaurant. So I'm at a loss as to try to understand why that's happening. I've had some people message me and said, well, they're one theory, and this is one of our neighbors. She believes, former neighbor, Portuguese, in her 80s, just to qualify all of that. She believes that it's more of a push from Chega to have more crime reported so that that will help change or make a shakeup in the government with future elections. I don't know what your thoughts on that. But it seems to me everywhere I've lived and most countries I go to for travel, or if we're considering a move to, one wouldn't want to over quantify or over advertise crime. I just don't think. So I'm curious because it's another one of those things that being gone for the weekend, coming back and putting some videos out, I thought I'd put this together because I've been going back and forth with some people on trying to figure out what's the root reason for reporting more stuff, because or maybe that's a strategy. You report more crime, then less people want to move to the country, which means that the immigration bottlenecks and the issues, the backups, become less because less people move because they feel like it's an unsafe place, so that over time the government can get all of their backlog sorted. And then, down the road, a few years from now, then they start reporting, there's nothing to see here, there's no crime at all, and life is good. And you go back to the way reporting was in the late 20-teens, where there was virtually no reporting of crime, which seemed to comply with the lack of crime in the statistics being reported. So at least there was some correlation there. But I'm confused. Doesn't take much for me in my life to be confused about things. But I'm curious to get your take, because those of you watching these channels, you're reading the same newspapers, you're watching the same news, you're hearing the same stories. You also know a lot of things that are going on if you're living in Portugal in your neighborhood that never makes it to the news or never makes it to a column in a paper, but stuff's going on in your particular area. Just wondering what's at the root cause of this, because my thought is that crime has been going up because it's getting reported more. And I often felt like there was an underreporting of crimes, or crimes of all different areas were being unreported. Got nothing to back that up. It's just a hunch. I have zero facts to back up that opinion I just made. So I've got nothing. You can blow me out of the water for that. But it's just a hunch. And so I think that now people are talking more about it. But it just, at the end of the day, it doesn't benefit the government unless they're trying to squash immigration. That's a weird way to do it, but to report on more crime, because it also, from a tourist standpoint, would make people not want to go there from a tourist standpoint because of the possibility of something happening. So you don't necessarily get it. I'm not sure what there is, or maybe there's just more crime and more of it's being reported. Maybe that's just part of Occam's razor. The most obvious answer is the answer. I don't know. What do you know? Please comment below. We would love to hear from you. All opinions are worth exposing and explaining. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your travels.